Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Saturday morning to you, coming to you from Seabrook, Texas, a rainy day here at Keels and Wheels. We're going to start our show here in about 15 seconds, so thanks so much for joining us today. This is the In Wheel Time program, and we are going to have a great time. We've got a great guest already lined up, and he's sitting right across from us right now. So stand by, and you ready, Jeffrey? Yeah. Okay, here we go. From the 25th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show. On today's expanded live show without music, we'll have celebrated guests, dignitaries, and participants in this weekend's concours. We'll also review our new and pre-owned cars of the week. Conrad will have his car clinic, I hope.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more is just ahead on today's live 4-hour In Wheel Time car show for Saturday, May 1st, 2021. Today's In Wheel Time is sponsored by Bayway, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin over here, our chief engineer David Ainsley.
He's the dignitary.
I'm Don Armstrong. So glad that you could join us today. And so just a little preview of what's going on for our worldwide audience this morning. It is raining cats and dogs. Well, not actually. It's just raining rain. And it's been raining since yesterday, really, in the middle of the night.
Isn't there a Beatles song, Rain?
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But at any rate, it's raining, and we've had fun time setting up this morning. And yours truly forgot the power supply to the computer and then forgot the controller for the commercials. So guess what? We're going 4 hours wall to wall with nothing but nonstop talk for y'all. That's a Texas line, by the way. Yeah, did you hear?
Y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Yeah.
That's plural for y'all.
I can't hear him, David, for some reason.
That may be a blessing.
It is a blessing in disguise.
David, turn that off.
Mr. Mars, thanks for all your help and consideration in today's setup.
Organization. Awesome.
What did you do?
Well, I did nothing except stand here and look pretty.
That's exactly right.
That's what you call it. I did even less, so I have nothing to say.
Well, let's see who did the most, David.
Yeah, it looks like David did most of everything.
Heitzman did.
And let's not forget Jeffrey Heitzman.
Jeffrey Heitzman saved the day.
The In Wheel Time Fan Club president, Jeff Heitzman, who's here in person. He's right there.
Right, yeah.
And we'll have him on camera here very soon. But at any rate, thanks to everybody who tried to make this all work without my help, clearly. It was more of a hindrance to be here. But
we're good. We're here. We're live. We're
all
hot.
right.
He's going to need to see
So
HR.
let's get right to this. This is the 25th annual Keels and Wheels Concours d'Elegance, as I mentioned earlier. It is a wonderful, wonderful setup that they have here at the Lakewood Yacht Club in Seabrook, Texas. We're right along the bay. And
stunning campus to do this on.
Yeah.
With all these beautiful trees and stuff that are protecting all these cars from the rain.
In bloom.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Now, it will be a couple of hours before the show officially opens to the public. So we're here a couple of hours early, and we've expanded our show to go all the way till noon today on purpose.
Without music.
Without music, without commercials. Commercial free.
Commercial free.
Commercial free.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry.
Brought to you by Bayway.
Bayway, yeah. And the fine group of dealerships. So thank you very much, and we'll make all this good, I hope, if you don't bail on us after this. So thank you.
It's going to be so good you're going to miss it if you leave it.
Yeah. And I'm going fishing at 12:30.
Yeah, he brought his cane pole,
he's
so
going
he's
to
all
just
ready
turn
to
around
go.
by 12:30.
So our very first special guest is Billy Stabile, who I've been on the phone with a few times. He flew in from L.A., and his arms aren't sore at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Somebody had to do it.
So Billy Stabile is the guy that provided all of the movie cars to Ford versus Ferrari. And that is the theme here today. It is the Ford versus Ferrari themed show.
Feature.
And salute to the Ferrari, the P330 B3.
I'm going to go with P3.
P3. Okay, P3. And then there is the Ford GT 40.
Yes.
40 inches from the ground to the top of the windshield.
Yes.
I did my homework.
You're
a
good.
little.
You're good.
No, I'm not. But thank you anyway.
But he can read.
Yeah, I can read. Kind of.
Some days.
But that's not the only thing that Billy has done. He grew up in the movie business and the car business and combined the two. It was your dad that started Hollywood movie cars, right?
No, and my dad was on staff with Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
He's the one that told me not to go into my own business.
Yeah.
And I did not listen.
But hey.
But you've been successful.
It put bread on the table, and you got a nice collection of cars.
And all day yesterday while we were bringing cars in, I just thought of him the whole time. I wish he could be here with us. You know,
cool.
He passed years ago, but he would have been in his glory.
Yeah.
He would have been in his glory through the movie of Ford versus Ferrari to be around all that.
So your dad was a car person.
He was a definite car person, yeah. He started. He did American Graffiti, 2-lane blacktop.
Oh, okay.
He did. Him and Paul Newman had a little riff going on, which is a funny story. When Paul Newman was on the Universal lot, my dad had a Volkswagen from the neighbor kid that they put a Porsche engine in the 60s, which was unheard of, the 1600 dual carb, into a Bug. And Paul Newman saw my dad, and Newman had just been sponsored by Volkswagen to show the Bugs off. And they had a little race in the back lot.
Oh, gosh.
My dad won.
I was going to say, and he embarrassed Paul Newman.
He did. Next week, Paul Newman had a Volkswagen with a Chevy V8. I don't know if you ever saw that article about him with putting a V8 in a Bug. It was just found recently. And that's because of him and my dad, which is,
what a great
stories like that.
Do you now own the car?
Pardon me?
Do you now own the car?
No.
No,
not yet.
Your dad's Volkswagen.
No.
Okay.
But
Not yet.
I am gonna find that V8 Bug though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I guess I wanted to really kind of start with you on your background, and since we're talking Ford versus Ferrari, we're going to get into other things here.
Sure,
We've got plenty of time.
Oh, good.
I'll
bore you to death.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Not after the conversation that I had with you on the phone. I could not find. I was trying to write an article on the two cars that appear here, the Ford versus Ferrari cars. Well, as it turns out, there's more than one car, more than one movie car.
Correct.
That appeared in the film, and trying to drill it down to the actual cars that appeared here. It was calling this person, calling that person, and I wound up with Billy. Well, just call him. He's got it. Lugnut. Call him. Said, okay, great. So called him and talked to him, and he set me straight on the cars that are going to appear here. Well, they're actually here. And it was a fun conversation with you on the phone, and I appreciate the time.
I do too.
Now, you said that we started off this conversation that you have actually retired.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How did it work out? I mean, I realized that it was 2 years ago that the movie was shot.
Right.
But
I've never been busier. At the premiere in Hollywood, I kind of met my producers and everybody I worked with over the years and thanked them, shook their hand, said it's been great. I'm moving on. I'm not going to do this for a living anymore. And it seems like in Hollywood, the more you tell them they can't have something, they want it more.
Yeah.
But no, it's the amazing thing is this movie. Keep in mind, it's been 2 years ago when it came out. 2 years ago, and wherever these cars appear draws a crowd like I've never seen. It's amazing. You know, I did Inception, I did Dark Knight Rises, and after the movie, everyone can't believe, oh wow, that train looked real. Well, it was real. We bought a Peterbilt and had a train body put on it, and a month or two, movie comes out, it's gone. This is 2 years later, and we're bringing cars out here to draw a crowd, right? To bring people out to enjoy and see them up close.
Yes.
And I've probably done 35 to 40 of these with these cars, and everyone's requesting the different cars. Can you bring Ken Miles' car out? Can you bring whatever was in the movie to the interest? And 2 years later, here we are. Amazing.
Still doing
I
it.
never thought.
Well, it shows the passion people have for those two brands, the GT40 and the Ferraris. There's just a love for both of those cars themselves, and then you building them to do the movie, and the movie, I think, being such a huge success. There's good reason for them to continue to have you to come on out to these kinds of events.
And the success of the actual race itself in 1966 and the story behind it.
Right.
Because it's certainly a legacy. They didn't make the movie just for the heck of it. There was a story behind it all.
Correct.
And I'm not going to get into all of that, but it was Carroll Shelby's relationship with Henry Ford that actually motivated him to act.
And Henry's distaste for Enzo.
Enzo. Yeah, exactly. And it went on, and it's quite a story to tell.
Well, the cool thing is, I think the other car movie that still is kind of an icon would be American Graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So my dad did that. I did this, and it's kind of heartwarming to know that.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of
That's a tradition followed.
Yeah, and I think this will be around for a long time, and it was so great to see kids at all these car shows that I go to with these cars. I just got a weak spot for the kids that
Clamor over the cars.
you want to get them involved into an industry,
Yeah.
a part of the industry that's slipping away.
Right.
You know, when I first started, there was a lot of creativity we brought into the product. We were able to come up with our sketches and our ideas. Unfortunately, not this movie, but in other movies, you're kind of directed exactly what
They
you have
want.
to build. Here's
Right.
the blueprints. Don't change a color, tint. Don't change a dimension. This is what it is, which takes the fun away.
Yeah, it takes your creativity away from.
Creativity. And I got to do Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell. I don't know if anyone ever saw that.
Yeah.
And I was able to use my creativity on the cars I chose to fall out of the sky as to being in the movie theater scene, the Hummer H1 limo where the dinosaur was trying to get to him, the ice cream truck. That's fun when you could go to the production designer and have these conversations. What do you think about this? You know, it should have an awning with different colors, you know, the old 50s style.
Get the creativity going.
I love creativity.
Well, and then the bordering on craziness, because I would assume, I don't know Will Ferrell, but watching all of his movies, I think there's a little crazy in his head.
You think? Yeah. We'll talk
So
about that later.
So I think he really enjoys the difference you bring to his movie as well.
Yeah. I think that's how, you know, the guys in the day, Dean Jeffries, George Barris, those guys were the ones that built the studios. Say, build us a car for the monkeys. I don't think they were given blueprints or they were given direction. They were just, you know, this is what we're looking for. Can you build us something that represents that?
Yeah, and we've had Gene Winfield on the show a couple of times. What a
God bless him. Still going, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's still doing everything. He's really, other than I think a couple of years ago he fell, but I think he's still very,
going.
very active.
Back,
and,
yeah.
It's that California weather.
Yeah, that's desert weather,
that
sir.
And clean living out in the desert.
Yeah, right. He's in.
No, he's in.
No, he's in California.
I thought he was in Arizona. Did he move to Arizona?
No,
No,
he's
no,
out in the
he's-
Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
somewhere out past
That's what he says
Bakersfield.
keeps him going.
Yeah.
It's dry.
So let's drill back now. Let's go to the Ferrari movie, Ford versus Ferrari, and let's talk about when did you get the phone call that says, "Hey man, would you be interested in supplying us the cars?"
Well, let's go back 10 years
Okay.
almost to it was, you know, the book is Go Like Hell.
Okay.
That's the
The
original
movie
book.
was based off of, yeah.
And there was talk that Tom Cruise was going to do it with another director. And they came to my shop because I had the cars from Fast 5, the GT40s. I had the Buck, which is the one that's cut in half to film the interiors. I had the stunt car, and I had the hero car. The stunt car is usually set up with a special brake system, more horsepower, and the hero one is the
The
pristine.
beauty shot.
The beauty shot. Doesn't do much of anything. It just looks pretty.
That's what we have Don here for. Don's our hero.
So they came into the shop, and they looked at this, and it was pretty heartbreaking to hear what Tom Cruise was going to do to this movie. And I'm glad, nothing against Tom Cruise, but I'm glad they stuck with James Mangold and went this way to a more correct view of the situation, other than we didn't want Tom Cruise with the gun shooting Ken Mile. you know.
Right.
Well, and that movie, Ford versus Ferrari, had to have fact basis in it. It couldn't be too much fantasy because everybody who's a car nut knows the story.
And that's it. And, you know, at car shows, wherever we go presenting the cars, people come and say, you know, he really didn't do this, and that wasn't crazy. I said, look, it's not a documentary. If you want to see a documentary, go see the 24-Hour War. But if you want to see something to bring the whole family and everyone can enjoy,
Entertainment.
this is what it is.
And have a great backstory to it.
Great
you know,
backstory. You know, and that's the other thing. Keep in mind, we're representing a family. Aaron Shelby's here.
Right.
We're representing. Hollywood's trying to represent his family, which I understand is that's a lot of weight on your shoulder to not offend someone or make them feel like that was wrong.
Yeah, and
you
do
know.
it with honor.
So did you have all the cars in stock? You had to go out and get some?
No,
had
that's
some.
the,
I know that you had some made.
I had a lot made. Yeah, that was funny. Is I called Ford and I said, hey, there's this great movie we're going to do, and I'm looking for some back. Hello,
Right.
Click.
Yeah, no one thought this was going to be anything what it turned out to be. So I called up RCR Race Car Replicas in Michigan, and I said, I'd like to shut your business down for 8 months. What do you think? And he's the only one that didn't hang up. He said, I'm interested. So I outsourced to him to build the tubs. They are race cars. They're not just Volkswagen chassis with different
Yeah,
bodies.
I would.
They're aluminum tubs. They're coil-over suspension. They're all CNC A-arms. And you could set them up, and they're 500 horsepower with 2,100 pounds. And
Whoa.
Don't,
So it'll light it up.
yeah, they will, just like on Harbor, whatever that street is out here.
Yeah.
So with that, they built the cars from a blank slate.
Yeah,
these weren't some converted IMSA car, converted Trans Am car.
I went to Fran, and this is the schedule. This is what we need. And he goes, well, I don't have anything. And we shut him down, and he stuck with it. And it got tough for a while with the demands because every day, I wasn't asking for complete cars from him. Just give me something to start with, which the Hollywood Teamsters took. After I got them from Fran, they went to my shop. We did some assembly. Then it went to the studio guys, and they would do the final. And Fran, had to keep up with the heavy demand. Then I flew down to Atlanta, met Chuck Beck. Anybody know Chuck Beck?
Nope.
Beck Speedster, Beck Spider.
Okay,
Yes.
Beck Spider, I know that.
Right.
So Chuck is in his 80s, which is an amazing man. And I walked in his place, and I bought a couple 904s, a couple Speedsters. It was just like it started to get down to the wire. Where
Yeah, I'll take two of these.
two
and
of
two
those.
of these.
Yeah. And Corvettes, Porsches, and everything you see, those were just purchases. But I got to tell you, the toughest purchase was trying to find 20 Falcons in 1963.
Right, because they went down the assembly line, and you had to have lots of them. Yep.
Go try and find 20.
Right.
It was pretty tough.
Because they weren't really solid cars when they were built to begin with, much
Correct.
less have them last this long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tough.
And some that aren't modified because there's enough of them that people have built into street cars and
yeah, I did the budget. I figured, I'm going to spend $2,000 a car, so this will be my budget. And next thing you know, I'm on eBay spending $8,000-$9,000 for
a
one because
Falcon.
I'm getting the pressure like we need the cars now. So money comes secondary. Just get the product to them and worry about it later.
And then the Falcon Club goes, hey, they're trying to buy a bunch of them for a movie.
Yeah.
Everybody bump your price
Well,
up.
if I could tell you a funny story about that is I would line them up in areas like for some reason Bakersfield was a hot hit for Falcons, and I don't know why.
Oh, how wild.
So I'd go and buy a couple Falcons, hang on my guy pick it up, and I didn't tell him it was a movie business because then all budgeting goes out the window. And then I guess when the car carrier showed up with 3 Falcons on it and they're picking up number 4, he kind of caught on. So,
So the price
cat
went
was
up
out
for
of
the
the
next
bag.
couple of them.
Yeah, there was hardly any negotiating going on.
So what did you do with all of those cars, just the Falcons themselves, which wouldn't be a feature car in the movie, but, you had to go out and find 20 of them. So what eventually happened to all those cars?
I still have most of the cars. What they did is they did the assembly line from basic shells to finished cars coming off. So a lot of them got completely dismantled, and those start in the back. And then as they moved down the assembly line, more parts got put on, and they got painted. The last 6 or 7 of them got painted and looked like complete drive-off cars.
But after you bought them, you still have them, and they've not gone back out into the market somewhere.
Well, what's funny is I have a warehouse out in Ventura where I park them in an open lot, and people come by all the time and say, "Man, you sure like Falcons." What are you doing?
No,
with all
those are just
Falcons?
the ones we leave outside. You should see what's in
you
the
see
building.
what's inside. Don't go inside. But yeah, that was a tough one, and I thought that was going to be the easiest. But
And then also, when they showed some of the shots inside Shelby's build, I don't know if it was a warehouse or anything, but there was some Daytonas,
Yeah.
And some other Shelby and a number of Cobras.
Yeah.
Were those all cars that you had found, or were they all replicas?
that credit goes to a guy named Rick, who was the picture car coordinator. He reached out to Alan Grant. I don't know if Alan Grant donated his car, or rented his car, and a lot of owners did rent their car for 1 to 2 day shots, and that's when
Because
you
they
saw-
wanted their car in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
And somebody was willing to pay him to put it in.
Yes. As the movie went on, the struggle to get more money declined. The struggle got easier. You know, it was a phone call. We need 3 more of these tomorrow. Well, I need them. You know, and you see why the end product turned out to be what it is.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
A collection of cars like the Peterson collection.
Yes.
Were you given any access to some of their cars for
Yeah,
the movie?
absolutely.
I was going to
Yeah.
say that would be a pretty
Yeah.
cool spot to bounce
Yeah.
off of.
And what's interesting, we took about 6 cars up to the Peterson right after the movie and did a whole display up there. And the guys that have purchased a lot of these cars have formed a whole website, Ford versus Ferrari Owners Club, and you know these guys
Pretty
have all
elite
stuck
club.
together. So whenever there's something going on, you know these guys will all bring their cars to one of those shows, whether it's
that even makes it
906
better,
Porsche or whether it's a GT40 or a Ferrari.
So let's talk about the GT40 for a second.
Yeah.
We talked about the Ferrari. You had those built, and they had Chevy engines in them.
Oh, you
And
had
so-
to say it. Just had to.
was
Couldn't
gonna
leave it
say,
at
come on.
1-843-6572, could he?
Sorry.
Don, you giving up the ghost. Those were Ferraris. Did you not listen to them in the the
Yeah.
You could hear
But
them.
I'm sorry
in
to
the movie.
interrupt you. Go ahead.
No,
with
it's
the
okay.
GT40.
We
So,
interrupt them all
so
the
the
time.
GT40, those were tubbed cars like the Ferraris.
Identical, not identical, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same
where
thing.
did what about bodies?
Bodies were popped off at Fran. He had the mold to the original Mark I, Mark II. He had those, so he was popping off the bodies for
Wow.
us. Yeah.
Okay. And then
And those are Chevy powered also.
Right.
Except there was 1 or 2 that we used that were Ford powered.
right. And I think that the one that's here is Ford powered.
That one's Ford power. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, and things. My memory works for me. It went for almost $500,000,
For
I
it.
think.
Somewhere around 487.50 in that
Right,
area. Yeah, I'm not sure.
$500,000 at auction
Yeah.
a couple of years ago
Yeah.
after the movie was done.
Yeah.
And it is in a private collection, but that's the one that's here.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And
So
so,
you've still followed all of these cars, even though some of them have gone to owners. You
Yeah,
still stay in contact with them.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're all looking for little parts and pieces. And you got anything else? Do you have any posters? Do you have any, gas caps? Do you have any mirror? It's just amazing the stuff that, I have the windshield that he threw the wrench at, and I won't let go of that. It's like it's going to be donated to the museum up in Northern California, but it's like
Is that black?
real estate is real expensive in California.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like collecting watches. When you collect, we already had over 100 cars in our inventory, so to throw another 100 on top, it's like, okay, stuff's got to go.
Either that or I got to stack them.
Not stacking. Well, we are stacking. But, so.
Never say never.
Never say never. So, you have to get rid of some stuff, and a lot of stuff went really quick, and I took a step back, and I'm going, I'm never going to see this stuff again, and, I have that windshield, and I don't know, there's just a...
Well, you said the museum in Northern California. You talking about Blackhawk?
No, it's a Shelby,
Oh, okay.
somewhere in Shelby.
well, let's talk about some of the other cars because there
Yeah.
are more than just the GT40
Sure.
and the P330 P3.
Yeah, if I called you up out of the ad in Hemmings or Craigslist or eBay, I bought your Corvette. I was buying Corvettes left and right. I was buying the Falcons. I was buying Porsches. I was buying whatever whatever you
Any
saw.
Corvairs in that mix? No Corvairs?
No.
No.
So
That's an inside joke.
so the collection that you now have.
Yeah.
And you do have your own personal collection
Correct.
out of a lot of these movie cars.
Correct.
Let's talk about that. What is your most prized possession that you have?
55 Chevy.
Nice.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's not the one in American Graffiti. is
Well,
it?
my dad gave me, when my dad did American Graffiti, then he went, we did 2-lane blacktop, and then they're doing American
Nice.
Graffiti. A guy named Richard Ruth built the cars up in Bakersfield area, Central California, for 2-lane blacktop. And they were real race cars. They were built to race, and Richard built race cars. So after that 2-lane blacktop movie, they had 3 cars. The camera car got hit pretty hard on the lot. People were taking stuff. And my dad said, hey, Universal's selling a bunch of cars. Let's go look at some cars to buy. Now I'm 12, you're 13 years old. So he goes, what about this one? I said, it's yellow, the 32 from
Yeah.
I don't want that. He goes, what about this one? That's the car from Christine. I don't want that. He goes, look at this thing. This is the STP turbine car. From Granatelli's turbine car is sitting there. He goes, we could buy this. No, I said, I want that. And it was the 55 with no transmission, no interior, no wheels.
Just a rolling chassis.
Just a rolling chassis, and that was my first car. So I took that car home and over through my high school years and working, drove it around on the street, and I sold it for a whopping $1,700
Oh gosh.
in 1979 to get married, and priorities, and I sold it without the engine. And then here we are up until about 10 years ago. I get a call from a guy who says, I understand you're the original owner of this car, and I'm restoring it. How can I know that you're the original owner? And I went through every freaking detail on that car. When you're young and working on a car at
Sure.
night,
Oh, yeah.
you know every
Particularly your
detail.
first one.
He started getting giggly, and then he said, I'm bringing you the car. He brought the car to me in a trailer, and I met him, and I cried like a baby.
Wow.
Did you really?
I did, because that car saved me. My buddies at that time, you're young, getting stupid. Every time I stayed home to grind off a camera mount or do whatever, those guys got in trouble or stupid. That car saved me, and I said it over and over again. It's just – so I ended up buying another 55 recently, and people come that want to buy movie cars, and that's – what's for sale? I said, everything's for sale.
Except that one.
Not that one. And I say that now. Who knows?
So, but you had the car that was in the movie when you were in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Did all your friends realize that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And that's funny is I was known for the guy he has the 55 from American Graffiti 2-lane blacktop to here's the guy from Ford versus Ferrari, but it was a 35, 40-year span, but,
Are you still in touch with any of your buddies from high school?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So they know you.
I really didn't have buddies in high school because I only went for a short time, and I went to the dealership to work at International Harvester. And I went to school from, I think, 6 to 10. I had ceramics and teacher's assistant, and then I was off to work, which was from 3 to midnight. I worked
That's
the
our
night shift,
connection right there, yeah.
Never had a better time. So here I am making a great living at the age of 16, 17, full-fledged mechanic and having money to spend on my car and,
And
So
a space to work on it. Because that's
my
always
dad's garage. God bless him, man. I had no restrictions. None.
That's pretty cool.
No
That is-
restrictions.
Yeah, but
And
a lot of that was because you stayed out of trouble.
I
It
think
kept
so.
you busy. I mean, I kind of did that with my
I
kids.
got in trouble a little
Well,
bit,
but I mean,
nothing. Yes, sir. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I told mine. You got to have something to do, or you got to go get a job after school. It's your choice.
Yeah, I think my mom and dad realized that. When they saw me buying my first house at 18, they thought, he's okay. I don't think we have to worry about him.
Yeah.
He's got his head on straight. We never got in. Growing up in a strict Italian family, and we're still all so close. My
So really your
siblings,
last name is Stabile.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And boy, Sundays at his grandma's house
Oh, my God.
was every table had food on it.
Can I tell you a little quick story about that? Is my
Please
dad,
do.
his last movie show he did was Knight Rider, and he did that TV show as his last one before he retired. And on Sunday, Edward Mulhare would be there, Hasselhoff would be there.
Oh,
All these guys would just pop in our house on Sunday just for my mom's cooking.
That would be the Hoff.
Uh,
Just the Hoff.
but he
Hawk,
wasn't
yeah.
laying on the floor eating a hamburger. That's a different story.
no.
Yeah, but they all came because they knew your grandma had
My
great
mom.
food. Your
oh,
mom,
my mom, my
was a
grandma.
great
Yeah,
cook. Yeah.
That's good
I,
times.
I grew up in New York, and I'd always want to go.
Well,
to-
that's where we're all from, yeah. So you know the deal. Someone has a toothache in our family. Everyone goes to church and prays and cries.
Praising God.
And then after church, you go and eat like this 8-course meal.
And then you're mad at this one, you're mad at that one, and you're yelling at this one, and next day everyone's
but
hugging
you
them.
would defend them with your life, even
Yeah,
while you're
right.
mad at them. Yeah.
Still love them all, yeah.
So what are you going to do out here today? Look pretty?
Well, here's the problem. I'm a real boat lover.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
He's
you
going to
got it.
buy a boat out
I'm not
here.
buying a boat, but I'm going to be I'm restoring 2 old boats right now, and I just can't believe I'm here looking at old boats.
Aren't they
I mean,
beautiful?
Isn't
my
that what
God.
this is for? Keels and wheels?
Keels and wheels.
go.
So
There you go.
this is the wheels. I'll see you at Keels.
There you go.
Yeah.
Had you heard about this show prior to your invite?
I was invited by Bob 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then fell because of COVID and
COVID,
everything. And we were going to bring out 3 or 4 cars at that time, I think. And, yeah, it was just all of a sudden you get the call again. Would you like to do it? It's like, yeah,
Yeah, the collection of boats here is breathtaking.
Oh man, I can't wait. I
think,
can't wait.
Well, 3 years ago we were out, and there was a twin 283 Riva sitting right at the edge, and I mean, I just my heart fell in love with it, but I couldn't afford one.
Well, lovely.
And then you look at the craftsmanship of the boats themselves. You know, how do you build something that beautiful and then just throw it here in the salt water? And
That's the thing.
Well, I'm a woodworker. I love woodworking. I love mechanical, as you know, and I love electrical, and I love all that. So in a boat, you have it all.
Huh. There you go.
There you go.
Well, Billy, it's great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Fascinating.
And
Thank you.
we really appreciate you stopping by, and I guess I'll see you in the bar after our show's over with.
Please.
Could be.
Okay.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you.
A lot
All
of our
right.
people on
Hollywood
the
Movie
thank
Car
you.
Company president is Billy Stabile. Stabile. That's the best I can do. Thank you.
Watch
And,
your step.
Yeah, and welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in to the In Wheel Time program, and we appreciate you being with us. We've got more of our show coming up right after this. I hope if I could punch the right button. We're having a little. That's good.
Well, we
So-
have it, but we're not plugged in.
We're not.
Yeah.
plugged.
We're kind of working our way back there, so.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.